When we use compost on our vegetables, we rely on them to be pathogen-free. Because we can't take the risk of transferring potential pathogens such as fecal coliform or E. coli from our compost onto our vegetables. Many organic growers rely on the use of manures and composts to provide the health and the nutrition of their soils. With manures, there are specific rules because we know there are potential pathogens in manures, and a certain period of time is required between when the manure is applied and when the crops can be grown. Because under normal conditions, the potential pathogens are deactivated or killed by the microbes in the soil. With composts, it's different. With composts, the composts go through a high temperature phase, and we're hoping and relying that the potential pathogens are killed during this high temperature process. Some composts, even though they've met the temperature requirements for pathogen kill, are at risk of potential pathogen regrowth. So what happens is when the compost cools or when it's wetted, the pathogens regrow again. Immature composts seem to exhibit this a little bit more than more stable composts. So what do we do? How can we test for this? Is there a simple test that we can do to ensure that the compost that we use on our crops is safe? We've worked with one community in the north that produces an OMRI-listed compost from their residential organic waste program. And we've developed a series of guidelines to ensure that their compost is safe to use. The first guideline is a maturity guideline. The CCME guidelines suggest a carbon dioxide emission of less than 4 milligrams of carbon dioxide carbon per gram of organic matter, but we recommended that it even be lower than that. The second guideline is that we can actually do a test. We can take some of the compost, we can put it in a basin or in a bin or in a tray, we can wet it up to about 50 or 60%, and we can leave it for 24 to 48 hours. And then we can test for potential pathogens. The third guideline is then when we do test for potential pathogens, we encourage the measurement of E. coli as well. We're currently testing this procedure ourselves with various composts, including our own. And surprisingly, we have found that some composts being marketed do have that potential for pathogen regrowth and end up with very significant levels of E. coli. I've heard the comment before, my compost doesn't contain biosolids or animal manure, so therefore it doesn't contain potential pathogens. Unfortunately, this does not appear to be true. The E. coli and fecal coliform seem to be there in most composts that we're producing. We need to make sure that we do a good job of composting and of curing the compost so that it's stable and doesn't exhibit potential pathogen regrowth. This is important. It's important for the integrity of our composting industry. It's important for the integrity of organic growers who rely on the use of composts for nutrition and the fertility of their soils. And it's important for the health of all of us. We'd love to get your feedback on how we can do this better so that we can develop a protocol that ensures that our composts are safe. My name is John Paul. I'm a soil scientist and microbial ecologist. Thank you.